Right, welcome to another investigation. Now this one's quite an important piece of investigation. It's about the Abrahamic religions. Now, as we know, the stuff's all coded with dualistic codes. Basically, when you've got the Abrahamic religions, which as you see include Judaism, Christianity and Islam, you've got the code in here, right? Which is take the hammock. The hammock becomes chemi, right? Obviously the A turns upside down, you've got an E. So you've got chemi, as in chemical, right? Now we go to start. And there's your R, right? Your R. You take the sort of the long piece of the B, which you've got your chemical, right? Again, you're using the C twice because of the C's on the end, right? Chemical. Then you're left with that, which is like a little C coming off the B, right? So you've got the arc there, right? This becomes arc, which is obviously the the Ark of the Covenant. So the arc is basically a lab, because as you see here, again with this AB, you've got the lab, L-A-B, laboratory, right? So basically you've got a chemical laboratory. So the Abrahamic religions, right, as I said before, it's a scientific thing that hides behind sort of ancient practices from thousands of years ago and all this, right? It's basically a chemical laboratory, right? Chemical lab. So as you see here, ARC Pharma, pharmaceuticals, the ARC Pharma, ARC Lab, research laboratories, ABRAHAMIC Institute, epigenetics, Dr. Lillian Ding, now the Abrahamic also ties in with alchemy. You see ham, right? Alchemical. The Abrahamic is basically the same thing. Now this is obviously about the transmutation of matter. They're converting base metals into gold, right? And we know again that this is a metaphor for the trans program, right? Or transmutation, which means, in human terms, means turning a person into a trans, changing their gender, right? Again, it's to do with this, all the the profane explanations that they were heating liquids in bottles, right? So again, you're talking about the medicine, the scientific process of producing this medicine, right? Which they take, obviously, drug forms to change genders. So your Abrahamic religions and your alchemy is the same thing. Now, of course, this is about the story of Abraham, but he was going to sacrifice his son Isaac. It's a test of faith. Here we see God intervened, providing a ram as a substitute for Isaac, right? So it isn't really about someone physically killing the kid. It's about sacrificing the child, right? And then God provides a ram. Now turn that upside down, right? Like literally flip it upside down, a ram, right? A ram. As a substitute for Isaac, right? So basically, again, it's about making a trans with the kid. So the son Sacrificing the son gives a daughter. Sacrificing the daughter gives a son. Take your son, because he started out with a daughter, and now he take your son. The ram. As you see, finding meaning in the ram. And this is basically the what happens when you flip it upside down. Finding meaning in the ram. Now, as you see here, we Ramadan. Islamic festival. Now basically, as you see, the dawn becomes a day and year. The day and year. This basically links to one of the biggest hexes of the recent times, which was the Al-Qaeda. Now, again, you see how he's the Baptist like Baptist, John the Baptist. As you see, the Al-Qaeda is Arabic for the base. So when you've got a DNA database, you've got alchemy base metal, right? You've got alchemy changing base metals. So Al-Qaeda becomes ALCHEMY, same as ALCHEMY, alchemy. Again, you've got DNA. B-A-N is DNA. So here's a DNA database, right? Obviously it's a collection of genetic materials such as blood, semen, that type of thing. Obviously they're always, in the preferring explanations is always to do with sex and violence, right? So the main idea about a DNA database is having one for crime investigations, right? But in actual fact, it's basically the main purpose of it is for the eugenics, for the trans program, their eugenics program. Is the main reason why I keep these genetic materials, right? For creating people out of their program, Very Frankenstein type of thing, Again, refer to this base metal transmutation. Again, that idea of metal. Metal is important. Again, the nuclear program is basically, that's what they're doing in the nuclear program, right? Eugenics, experiments on human beings and genetic materials. Transmutation. Again, the metal idea comes back to this, right? Tin. So you've got your base metal of lead. You've got tin, of course, tin becoming the basis for the Tin Man, the Wizard of Oz, and etc. Type of thing. Originally known as Nick Chopper. That's like literally a circumcision joke. Nick Chopper. They nicked off his chopper. See. Once a flesh and blood type of man. Again, it's a sex and violence idea. This view of profane as a beast who's into sex and violence, really. So they do a transformation, and all of a sudden he's a real man, as they see it. What they consider to be a real man, which is actually a fake man. Unbelievable stuff, The Winky Tinsmith, the Winky, the voodoo man, the voodoo and the witch, all those things that's in this story. Mind and emotions. basically you're talking about the base, like the base in Al-Qaeda becoming, or the base metal in alchemy becoming the semen, or the eggs in the ovaries and all that thing, as being the base, what they work with as the base metal, see? And from there to do a eugenics program. Ones like this become a direct result of that program. Where its actual name is Violet Raiseboy. Violet Raiseboy. Right, so that's a joke in itself. And Raise the Boy, it's actually meant to be a girl. I think it is anyway. Of course you're not sure what it is, but it's an Olympic champion, right? So it's a eugenics, it's a direct eugenics idea, right? The thing sort of being the winners and the rulers of the world and all this thing. So, and there's your 7 year sex editor for the court battle. Fabricated stories and all that, but it's this comes out their program, right? Now, if you remember during that Iraq war that used to be on in the 1990s, I think it was, they used to have a few characters in it, like one was called Chemical Ali. Again, what you're seeing in that is the Abrahamic code, right, in that Chemical Ali. I remember there was all things like, there was a character that used to wheel out on the news every day. And it was almost like, a comedy thing, like he was like, seen as a comedy character. Yeah. So again, you're not really likely to do that in the midst of the supposed war where people are getting killed every day and all that. You're not going to start having comedy characters and stuff, You see that previously to the Iraq war, right, they had a bath party purge. Again, this is like this type of thing that John the Baptist, purging the sex instincts and the sex and violence instincts. So there's no doubt this was totally fake as this entire situation. So you got your Chemical Ali, Taha Yassin Ramadan, Ibrahim. You got all the type of codes, right? Like you see all Muhammad Hamza. These, the Ibrahim is basically the same as Abraham. It's a chemical code. Mahmoud, is that Ibrahim? Newman, Gary Newman. You see this? There's this book, Book of Iraq War, by John Tosh. John Tosh, why history man is. There's a word of Tosh. So you know a piece of news about it, Iraq War veteran Andy Tosh. See, they like the Tosh when it's to do with this, which is most likely to do with this. Peter Tosh, Rumours of War. The powerful reggae song by Peter Tosh. Basically, Wars and Rumours of War, see, come from Matthew 2466, again, double hex. So basically, you will hear of rumours of war, but it's, do not be alarmed, because garbage. Jesus become a divine hermaphrodite.